Now, if you see someone in a Red Bull helmet, you just know they're a badass, high-performance machine.
Vote for anything or anyone.
My question is, how is Red Bull pumping out these world-class athletes? What's their secret sauce? What are they doing? And I tell you what, I know it's not them giving them vodka Red Bulls. Well, I'm Jay, I'm a travel nurse, and I love all things human performance. Now, I might not be on Red Bull's radar just yet, but I wanted to dig in and find out how are they taking good athletes and engineering them into absolute legends. And I want to try to, steal from their playbook and apply it to our own lives so that we can become better athletes, higher performers at whatever we want to do. Red Bull isn't just sponsoring athletes. They're engineering legends like Formula One champion Max Verstappen, Fabio Wibmer, Kai Lenny, Travis Pastrana, Felix Baumgartner. The cool thing too is Red Bull takes athletes from all different disciplines and helps them level up in their specific sport. There's like a high performance formula somewhere within this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
There is an obvious hard truth, is they're just really good at picking talent in the first place. They're already choosing some of the best in the sport because they are fast, strong, or talented in whatever they do. Red Bull athletes in particular generally have other qualities. Obsessed, fearless, but also like creative. Like they tell this story. So it seems like Red Bull scouts are actively seeking athletes who aren't just physically gifted, but also psychologically unique. They're pushing the boundaries of whatever sport they're in. These athletes see challenges in a different way. They sort of want to attack the impossible, like push the boundaries, try new things. But Red Bull takes it a step further. They aren't just finding the stories, they are creating stories.
Nobody has ever done this before. It's a world first, and we don't even know if it will work.
They'll find an incredible athlete who's already pushing the boundaries, and then they'll orchestrate an entirely new feat, a world first.
Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks?
But the real secret isn't just who they choose, it's sort of what happens next. Once you're in the Red Bull system, you become surrounded by experts, by data, tools, structure, sort of like a high-performance machine. And one of the most fascinating things, I think, is their athlete performance centers. I know they have one in Austria and one in Santa Monica. They might have more. But inside these, it's essentially the Avengers of sport. You have sports scientists, strength coaches, nutritionists, biomechanists, recovery specialists, psychologists, breathwork, sleep coaches. And so each expert in their own field is helping the athlete level up so that together it's a cohesive system unit. Once Red Bull takes an athlete into their system, here's what they do and here's why it works. So if we look on the Red Bull website, this is what they say. Athlete performance centers are an athlete accelerator where they empower athletes to achieve greatness using advanced technology, analytics, and insights from hundreds of different sports to recognize an athlete's individual potential. So first, with each athlete, they're going to run like full diagnostics, see what's under the hood, what's going on. You're going to do your VO2 max, lactate threshold, your length, your girth. You get your mind out of the gutter. Take a look at your movement pattern, your biomechanics, reaction speed, stress levels, sleep scores. Essentially see where every athlete is physically, mentally, and metabolically. So then after you take all these baseline reports of where the athlete is, you create a blueprint specific to them and their sport. Does the athlete, burn out too fast? Do they need to build more endurance? Do they get mental blocks under pressure? Do they need more volume? What gaps do I need to fill for this athlete to improve them? So from there, that's where your training really begins. They update your specific protocol. And instead of just sticking to a program, you're going to train, track, and adapt. And probably the piece that most amateur people are horrible at is just recovery. That is one spot that if you really want to level up, if you just focus on like sleep, huge difference in your life. Another piece that's not as accessible to your average athlete is mental performance, reaction time under fatigue, visualization, training in chaos. So I've been a track athlete, I've ran a marathon, and I'm currently training for another marathon. And last Saturday on my 50-mile long run, the whole time I was thinking, this is so just mental. Yes, your body needs to adapt, like you need to slowly grow your mileage and your body gets better. I wanted to quit like way earlier than I really needed to. It's funny because I knew it from the outside. I'm like, this is just completely mind right now. This is just mental. If you can sharpen your mind like an axe and execute That's the difference. I truly think that's what makes a lot of the best runners great, is how they can push their body when others can't. And this is probably true of almost every sport. For some sports, it might just be having the confidence. Like I feel like basketball, maybe even golf. Keeping your mind level-headed, not stressed, and confident. The body follows the brain. So if you want to be a high performer, how do we steal Red Bull's blueprint? And I think the answer is simply systems. Like most people don't fail their fitness goals because they're lazy. They fail because they don't have an appropriate system in place. A system is just a repeatable structure that reduces friction and improves results. It's not motivation, and it's not trying harder. Well, you do have to try. It's never easy. It's having the system in place, these habits in place, so that willpower isn't a part of the equation. There's no motivation in the equation. It's just you do this thing. Okay, let's simplify the system so we can get something that works for you. The first thing is, let's track a couple things. Now, Red Bull, their performance center, they're tracking everything. Identify the few things that if you start tracking them could change a lot. For many people, I would guess that sleep is one of them. And I have an Superhuman ring, which I absolutely love. It helps me track that. And I have the Garmin watch too, which tracks your sleep too. That's going to be one of the biggest needle drivers. If you're trying to lose weight, obviously track your weight. If you're trying to become faster, if you're trying to train for a marathon, we got to track our mileage. So pick a few things that you can track that matter. The next part is I want you to create a weekly rhythm, a weekly system that doesn't rely on motivation. It doesn't rely on your willpower. You can't just wake up and decide based on how you feel what you're training that day. It's already on your calendar. It's already mapped out. It's a rhythm. For a lot of people, it's nice to have routine with this rhythm. You know, maybe you're working out 3 days a week. Sundays, you got a long hike or walk or something. You need to build a routine and a rhythm that is sport specific, whatever you're trying to achieve. And then next, simplify your inputs. This is going to sound a little contradictory because we just talked about how they have all of these performance centers and all these things, but you don't need like 10 different supplements, 4 different protein powders, all this different stuff. A lot of people could benefit from just very simple changes. And they have nutritionists. If you watch what a lot of world-class athletes are eating every day, a lot of times it's the same thing each day. They just repeat things that work. Athlete systems are just simplicity. It doesn't mean it's easy, but you do need to keep it very simple. Just do the same things over and over. Again, this goes back to the compounding effect. Next, we need to design an environment that makes us be high performance people. It gets us out of our comfort zone. Is your bedroom setting you up to sleep well? Is your phone pulling you away from your goals? But the biggest thing is who you surround yourself with. Are these people pushing boundaries and trying new things and getting out of their comfort zone? I want you to get out of your comfort zone, try new things. Part of the reason I wanted to start travel nursing and leave everything behind, because I needed to get out of my comfort zone. I needed progress. I needed change. I needed to step out of what I've always known. And it's been great for me in my mind and just everything. And the last part of using their system is reflecting and adjusting. No system works without solid feedback. Check in weekly. What worked? What didn't work? Where did I go off from my goals? And what things brought me closer to my goals? Don't just power through things. You need to refine it. There's an easy way to do this as well if you use ChatGPT. I would just start a new thread and tell it your goals. Tell it the system that you kind of want to create. Every week, just be like, hey, I want to do a weekly check-in to see where I'm at with my goals, what things I should target this week, and it's really effective. So you need to have a plan that keeps going even when life gets messy. And Red Bull athletes, they're not robots. They're just people with a structure that works. If you learned anything from this, it is systems that get us from where we are to where we want to go. But it's also the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we go out and create, the things we chase, the people we surround ourselves with. Pretty sure you need to subscribe right now and watch this video too, because it's gonna help you reach your goals. Thanks guys, peace out.